The 2020s have created phrases that I don't really like. One of the ones that I do, though, is flop era. You know what I mean. An artist drops a really bad or underwhelming album. An actor hits single-digit Rotten Tomatoes. An athlete at the top of their game goes to a middling team. It happens in wrestling, too. Sometimes at the top of their game, someone goes somewhere new and lands like Wile E. Coyote at the bottom of a canyon. There aren't many of these that I would consider generational flops. Maybe The Ascension, maybe David Sammartino, maybe Dan the Beast Severin. All examples of WWE trying and failing to make a star. The flop era I'm talking about today, though, is WWE taking a star and trying to make him a star. I think. I'm Tony Chacon. This is Couch Potato Lucha Libre, and today we're looking at the flop era of Sin Cara in WWE. February 24th, 2011. WWE holds a press conference in Mexico City to introduce the former Místico as Sin Cara, their new masked sensation. So there's two significant takeaways from this. One, Sin Cara, or Místico at the time, was one of the biggest celebrities in Mexico. Not just lucha related either. He had his own comic book, he starred in multiple music videos, including the 11-week #1 Me Muero by La Quinta Estación. He starred in political ads, and had a guest starring role on a popular telenovela. It's tough to say this, but there hasn't been a luchador that has more media infiltration since El Santo in the 50s and 60s. Secondly, this was the first big signing of the Triple H era of talent relations. Surely this would show us what Paul Levesque was looking at with the international stars of tomorrow. On March 7th, 2011, vignettes started airing during Raw announcing the arrival of Sin Cara. I can tell you that in at least one of the aired promos, his opponent was old CMLL rival and then WWE prospect Averno, who had a vested interest in making him look fantastic. Although he never signed with WWE, so what are you going to do there? He debuted on the Raw after WrestleMania 27. He had a big platform to make a grand entrance and a fantastic first impression. I know I said flop era. I was thinking more Eddie Murphy in 2002 and less Shockmaster in 1993. Later that week, he'd get another chance to make a first impression on SmackDown, nailing his entrance and attacking Jack Swagger. I mean, he loses credit with me for not bopping heel Michael Cole, but I digress. He'd feud with Chavo Guerrero first, finally defeating him at Over the Limit on May 22nd. Now, for those of you that are wondering, there is absolutely a reason I'm giving dates. Specifically the next one because it's considered a death date. On July 17th, Sin Cara would compete in the Money in the Bank ladder match, being taken out by Sheamus and written off for 30 days for a wellness policy violation. So why don't you remember this spot until I mention it? Was there something else that happened that night that was just that big?
The referee never rang the bell.
It seems like kind of a silly question now that you think about it, right? Sin Cara would return to SmackDown on August 12th, defeating Tyson Kidd with a Senton Lion Salt combo. Do not adjust your YouTube stream. Yes, that is less than 30 days. It turned out this Sin Cara was an imposter, played by Único, eventually becoming Sin Cara Negro. You're going to want to stay tuned for the tale of two Místicos, because that context makes this so much better. Anyway, this would culminate on the October 21st episode of SmackDown, where these two men would face off, mask versus mask, with the original Sin Cara winning. Sin Cara would go out with an injury after his knee decided he needed 6 months off at Survivor Series. He'd return to action in May, competing in another Money in the Bank ladder match that July. Sin Cara would spend the next 19 months as nothing more than Battle Royal fodder and a warm body on the roster, tag teaming with Rey Mysterio, another man who's pretty much on his way out of WWE at this point. His last televised match was on the August 19th episode of Raw, where he'd dislocate his finger less than 45 seconds after the bell rings. He wouldn't be seen on WWE TV again, and would be released March 26, 2014, 3 years, 1 month, and 2 days after his announced arrival. Now, if you're like me, this story leaves you with exactly one question.
What the hell happened?
The answer here is twofold. First, Sin Cara never connected with WWE audiences. Unlike CMLL, it isn't enough to be a good wrestler to get over. WWE needs you to commit 100% to the bit and 100% to the fans. Sin Cara's presentations didn't really do him any favors, to be fair, but he lacked the physical charisma to get over without promo skills or a mouthpiece. Maybe more damning was that Sin Cara wasn't accustomed to not being booked like a star, nor was WWE booking him like one, being stuck in nowhere feuds to pad time and sell merch. That's a far cry from the guy CMLL brought in Fray Tormenta to godfather his career, to be paired with El Hijo del Santo to win La Gran Alternativa, or had him win 3 other Gran Alternativas as a mentor. Sin Cara could have been the next Rey Mysterio. I say that completely sincerely. What was missing was that connection to an American audience. He definitely stood a better chance with subtitled promos or maybe a manager mouthpiece to work with him. But unfortunately, it lands as a thud at the bottom of Bad Lucha Crossover Canyon. I'm Tony Chacon. This is Couch Potato Lucha Libre. I'll see you next time.